Hey guys, for today's video, I'm going to be recreating the makeup look that I created on my very good friend Maricar. If you've been following me here on YouTube for quite some time, you'd know that I went on a vacation recently, and one of the main reasons why I went to Spain was to actually, celebrate Maricar's 60th birthday, and I also had the opportunity to do her makeup. And while I was thinking about doing this, because basically after I come back from a vacation, I always play around with makeup, just so that I can get my makeup hands back. And I just took this as an opportunity to do this, in front of the camera right now, so that, we have something to do. And, maybe I also have something to share from my experience with putting on makeup with Maricar. After all, I did buy a few new products at the flagship store in Sephora in Barcelona. Now, I also did bring makeup stuff and brushes to Mallorca to do Maricar's makeup. So while I am doing this video, I'm also going to be pulling up some of the stuff that I used on Maricar. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to be doing is I'm going to start with the eyes first. And I have here the Nars Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base. And I'm just going to apply this all over the eyelid. Now, I brought the mini version of this to Spain because I just don't have space to bring so much stuff, because I'm sure, as you guys have seen right now, after Spain I actually went to Morocco, so it was quite a journey. And I didn't want to bring a lot of stuff with me because it will prove too heavy. And the reason why I'm also using a smudge proof eyeshadow base is because at the time when I was doing Maricar's makeup, it was a little bit hot and humid, so anything that makes the eye makeup stay for an extended period of time, because after all, this is her party. Now, by the way, before I continue, I would like to say that the makeup look that I'm recreating right now is the makeup that I did on Maricar on her second day of her celebrations. And I'm going to be using a lot of pinky tones and red tones, warm tones, because aside from the fact that it reflects from the dress that she was wearing, pinky and red tones are excellent colors to use on people who have olive skin. And lucky for me today, I have olive skin, so we can actually see how well this type of makeup applies on skin like mine. Alright, so the eye base is now set. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be using this Caviar stick from Laura Mercier, and this is in burnished bronze. And I'm just going to apply it all over my eyelid. I'm just following the natural curvature of my eyes. And this is the reason why I love using eyeshadow sticks, especially this one from Laura Mercier. It's because it's very easy to apply color, and it's also very easy to spread. Now, as you guys can see, this eyeshadow color has a very nice, violet-y red tone to it, which is actually perfect to use for that evening. So, alright, as you guys can see, my eye shape has now been outlined. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get this Worker 3 brush from Sonia G, and I'm going to use this to blend out the edges and just to smoke everything out. Okay, I'm also making sure that I'm creating the eye shape that I need to lift my eyes. Now, I've actually did like a short video on how I create or how I apply eyeshadow makeup for people who have deep set eyes like mine, or people who have heavy eyelids. I'm gonna put a link down below to the description box so that you guys can go and check that out. Anyway, so I'm just spreading the Caviar stick now, upward and outward. And as you guys can see, the outline of my eyeshadow shape is already created, and it's helping me to create a lift on my eyes. Now, before this eyeshadow color totally sets, I'm just getting this brush. So this is a Crease Pro brush, again from Sonia G, and I'm just further blending out the edges and creating lift and shadow, because it's very important that we have to create lift. And also, I'm just trying to diminish the space that I have here between my crease and my brow bone. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to apply some of this Caviar stick along my lower lash line, starting from the outer corner, going all the way into the inner corner. So you guys can see it's creating a very nice smoky look. And what I like about this is that it's already bringing out the color of my eye, and it's also like working very well with the olive tones of my skin. So I'm just connecting the eyeshadow from the lower lash line into the eyeshadow that I created on the upper lash line. Now the great thing about using the Laura Mercier Caviar sticks is that it's actually very easy to blend out and it's very easy to work with. Okay, I'm just going to add a little bit more of the Caviar stick here in the outer corner, just so that it has more depth in that part. Okay, and I'm just pressing and blending it well into my eyelid. Now, the fantastic thing about this Caviar stick from Laura Mercier is that for this formula, because you know her Caviar sticks come in different formulas, this one doesn't have a lot of glitter in it, so we don't really get a lot of fallout. Although it has a very nice jewel tone, there's also a little bit of some iridescence to it, but I just love the way that the the reddish violet-y pigment like sticks into the skin. Alright, so now I'm going to go on with eyeliner, and I'm going to be using this Makeup Forever Artist color pencil. I'm so excited to try this, and this is in black, so it's very, very intense. And as you guys can see, I'm just lining the upper lash line all the way into the inner corner. And then I'm just going to apply more of this eyeliner here into the inner corner of the eye. Fantastic. And then I'm just going to wiggle it in between my lashes so that we have more depth in the eye. And with a smudger brush, I'm just going to soften the edges. Now, this is the first time that I'm using this artist color pencil from Makeup Forever. And I do have to say that it's actually very easy to use. And I'm actually glad that it doesn't dry down fast the way like a gel eyeliner would, because that makes it very difficult to work with gel eyeliners. And sometimes with gel eyeliners, when they dry down and then you start smudging it, since the formula becomes dry, it actually creates a lot of fallout in your upper cheek. So I think this is a nice alternative to gel eyeliners, and I do love the intensity, I do have to say. But I don't think this will wear like a gel formula, because basing on how easy it is to actually blend it out, I think this might need some time to set, or if you want to really set it, you just have to apply like a nice matte black eyeshadow powder on top of it. Okay, so I'm just adding a little bit of a flick here in the outer corner, and I'm just gonna blend the edges. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add just a little bit of this black eyeliner on my lower waterline, just to make it much more smokier. Okay, and I'm going to finish this eye a little bit later, because I just want this eyeliner to smudge naturally, just to start blinking my eye. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this other eye first, and then I'll come right back. Okay, so this is my first layer for the eyeshadow down, and what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to remove any fallout that I got here. So you guys can see there is a little bit, which is always to be expected, because when you're creating like a very nice smoky eye look, there's always drop down that's going to happen, because you are just disturbing a lot of the pigments that you applied on the eyes, and that will always be the case. And this is primarily the reason why I also decided to do the eyes first. Okay, and let me just get a tissue, and then let me just pat the micellar water away. Okay, so that's great. And now what I want to do is I want to use the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. So this is the first time I'm going to try this. I'm so excited. So I have like a generous amount of product here at the back of my hand. And I have here a flat brush. This is the brush that I used when I was applying this foundation on Maricar. And the main reason why is because it was my first, well, the first time I tried it out, I used like a different brush. Like it's more like a blending, no, not blending brush, but it was more like a buffing type of a brush. And I actually did not like the way that the, buffing brush applied this foundation on the skin. So on the second day that I did Maricar's makeup, I decided to go on like and apply this foundation in a much more traditional manner, and I actually preferred how it applies using a flat brush. Now, as you guys can see, this has a nice olive tone to it, which works well with my skin tone, although it's a little bit light for my liking because I had a tan when I was in Morocco. Now, when I first bought this foundation, this was a very nice shade match to my skin because at the time, I didn't have a tan. Although right now, I can see here on the screen that it still works very well. It's just a little bit too light for my liking at this time, but I can always remedy that with a little bit of bronzer, which I'm going to apply a little bit later. So I'm just going to observe if this foundation is going to oxidize on me, and let's see if, I just want to get to know this foundation while we're doing this video. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just adding very thin layers in the areas where I want to create more coverage. And I also like the fact that this foundation has neutralized a little bit of my redness, which is great, and which is also helping to make my eye makeup come out. Now the great thing with this foundation I have observed is that if you found the right shade for your skin, a little goes a long way. Now, one thing I have observed about this foundation is that it has a very nice luminous quality. As you guys can see here, it's already illuminating the high points of my face. So the great thing about using this foundation is that you don't have to use highlighter at all. And that's actually great, especially when you're putting on makeup during the summer season. The less product that you apply on your face, the better, because it will just last longer. Alright, what do you guys think? Do you think this is a good match for my skin at the moment? I think it is. It's very nice. I love the tones. I love how, reflective it is, how luminous it is. Perfect. I just think I just need to warm it up a little bit, and I'm going to do that later. Okay, so before I apply some concealer, I'm just going to apply a little bit of some liquid blush from Nars. This is in Dolce Vita, and the main reason why I'm using a liquid blush, even if I didn't use a liquid blush on Maricar when I was doing her makeup, is because Maricar has a very extensive collection of makeup from Nars, and some of the palettes I was using at my disposal is no longer available in the market. I think some of it was still around came out around 2019, and one of the blush palettes that I used on her had a very nice pink tone to it, which I actually loved. And I even forgot the name. I didn't check the name out because I knew that palette was no longer available, but in my head, seeing the color tone, I said to myself, this color actually reminds me of Dolce Vita. So that's the reason why I'm putting on this blush here today, because it's just going to, again, work well with the olive tones of my skin. And I always prefer to apply a cream blush or a liquid blush before putting on concealer. Okay, now I'm just going to apply that here on my other cheek. I'm applying this in a much more sculptural manner, almost like how I contour my face, because that's what I did with Maricar. Because I don't know if you've noticed, but Maricar does have vitiligo, so there are some spots on her face where her skin tone is very different. It's all white, while in some parts of her face, her actual skin color is still there. So I actually did not use any contouring products on her or bronzing products on her, because again, she has vitiligo and I do not want to create a muddy look on her face. So applying a blush in a much more sculptural manner can really help, like, contour the face and just bringing life to the cheeks. Okay, now for concealer, I have the Nars Creamy Radiant Concealer. It's my go-to concealer, and it's also Maricar's go-to concealer. So I'm just going to apply a little bit of that here in the inner corner of my eye. I'm going to do one eye at a time, and I'm just going to spread it using this brush. So what I'm doing is I'm just adding a little bit of some brightness in the inner corner of the eye. This is where we are usually dark, and it's the same case with me, it's the same case with Maricar, and it's going to be the same case as everyone else. I'm also going to add a little bit of that here, the outer portion, and I'm just going to spread this. Applying this here can also help to create that, like, eye shape that we need to create a nice lift on the eye. Look at that. Fantastic. Okay, let me blend that out some more. And I'm just going to tap the concealer well into the under eye area here, this part of my, like, apples of my cheeks, and just a little bit here, adding some brightness here can also help really open up this part of the eye, and it will just really help to bring out the smokiness of this eye some more. Okay, so the concealer is down, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set this with some translucent powder. Now I have here the mini cheek brush from Sonia G. I actually brought this because it's one of my most favorite brushes to use at the moment. And I'm just applying like a very thin layer of setting powder. So this is the loose setting powder from Laura Mercier, and I'm just applying it on the areas where I applied the concealer. I'm also not going to powder my face because I like how luminous this foundation is making my skin look, and I also didn't powder Maricar when I did her makeup because, when you reach a certain age, your skin tends to become quite dry. And the only parts of Maricar that I applied some powder on are, like, in the areas where I concealed her, and also in some parts of her cheekbones, but the rest of the face I left bare so that it doesn't look too dry, so that as the night continues to wear on, her skin is going to become even more luminous. The foundation is just going to blend with the natural oils of her skin, and it's just going to make her look even more radiant. And that's very, very important for me because I knew that, like, when you're going on a party, the restaurant might be very dark and there might be only a few candles, like, lighting up your face. So any form of luminosity can really help just to pick up the light from, like, peripheral lighting or lighting from a candle in front of you. Like, anything luminous just really picks up from that, and it just adds radiance to the face. Okay, fantastic. I am loving how this foundation just illuminates the skin. Amazing. And by the way, I'm using a mix of natural light today and artificial light because it's been very, very cloudy and the sun just comes in and out of the clouds as we speak even. Okay, so I'm just going to scoot a little bit closer because I want to finish off the eyes now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply some mascara. So I'm just adding a very nice layer of mascara all over. This is a lengthening mascara, and I'm concentrating of applying the product here in the outer corner of my lashes because this will really help to, like, elongate the eye and also helps to create a nice lift. Also going to do that here, the other eye. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave my lower lashes bare, which I also did on Maricar because I do not want to create a very round eye look because especially on Maricar, her eyes are already very, very round. So applying the mascara only at the top and applying a lot of it here at the outer edges of your lashes can just really help to elongate the eye. And now I'm going to apply some false eyelashes, and I'm going to start by using the short Ardell flared eyelashes, and I actually applied a lot along Maricar's lashes. And the reason why I did that is because I just want her lashes to become very, very fluttery. And also it just really helps to emphasize the eyes. So I think I said in my previous vlog that I applied 20 individual flare lashes on her. And I believe this to be true. So I'm sure you guys can already see how well these flared eyelashes are, like, creating dimension on my eyes. And I'm just layering them one by one. And also one other thing, Maricar doesn't wear eyelashes on a daily basis. So that's also the main reason why I decided to use some individual lashes on her, because it's going to be lighter for her and she won't feel it. Because if I'm going to use a full band of eyelashes on her, she will feel that as the night goes on. And these Ardell individual eyelashes are very, very light. They're very, very easy to use and they are very easy to apply. Am I happy with that? I think I'm going to add one more short lash here in the inner corner. Fantastic. Look at that. Beautiful, right? Now, what I also did is, in order to elongate and lift Maricar's eyes some more, I actually added medium-sized flare eyelashes as well, but I concentrated applying these lashes here at the outer corners of her lashes. Because they are longer, they'll create a much more lifted look and even like a cat eye kind of a look. I think I added 3 individual clusters on each eye, and I just layered them on and placed it in between 2 short flared eyelashes. Do I need to add one more? No, I think that's perfect. Can you see the difference between this eye and this eye? Look how lifted this eye looks. Also very nice and sexy and sultry. And I promise you guys, it's very, very light. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this eye first and then I'm going to come back. Okay, so while the eyelash glue is drying, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in my brows first. And I'm going to be using brow pens. So I also use the same brow pens on Maricar. But on myself, because my eyebrows are sisters, I'm going to use this pen first. It has a very nice, gray-brown color. And this will just really help in creating that nice shadowy outline to balance my brows. Okay, now with another pen, this one is in black, and I'm just going to add, few individual hairs in areas that are sparse, just to help create a nice shadow and balance on my brows. Okay, I'm going back and using this nice gray-brown pen from K Palette, and I'm just adding more depth and structure. Okay, I'm very careful not to overdo it because my brows are already quite prominent. So balance is always the key. Alright, so I'm happy with my brows now. And what I'm going to do is I'm not going to add any type of shimmery highlighter on my brow bone because I do not want my brow bone to become heavy. But if you are someone who just wants to add more more definition on your brow bone, you can get again like this artist color pencil. This one is in beige. It's a very nice color, so you guys can see here. And you can just add it a little bit of it here, just at the lower edge of your brows. And then you get a smaller, brush, and then you just blend it out, blend it well into the skin. And this will just really help to emphasize your brow bone some more. And the good thing about this is that it doesn't have any shimmer on it. So it's not going to counteract with the pigments of the eyeshadow that you applied earlier, because most of the time if you apply highlighters with a lot of with a lot of shimmer and glitter on them, what happens is that shimmer will blend into, like, this blending that you did here. And when you start moving, that's just going to increase the width of your brow bone. Now, if you're someone like me who has so much brow bone, you really don't need to add more shimmer and glitter there, because you don't need to. Because if you add a lot of those types of products on your brow bones, it's just going to make your brow bone and, like, too heavy, and it's just going to make your eyes look downturned. So we do not like that. Okay, so now we're actually almost finished, and I'm going to do our lips now. So I actually do not have the lip products that I used on Maricar because they were hers. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to use the, like, similar colors that I have with me on my disposal. And I'm going to start by applying this lip liner from Lisa Eldridge. This has a very nice pinky tone to it. Nice color. Very festive. And I'm just going to apply a very thin layer, the lip line. And then I'm just going to rub my lips, just so that it gives it a very nice stain. And now I'm going to apply a little bit of this lip gloss on top. Although this is a very different formula than what I use in Maricar. At least the color that we use on our lips today will just add some pop of color and brightness to the face. And it will be a nice contrast to the eyes. Look at that color. Doesn't it go well with the skin and with the eyes? It just, like, gives a very nice pop. And it just also helps to balance out the, the smoky eyes and the skin, because after all, like, if, like, sometimes if you use like a nude lipstick with a smoky eye, it becomes very common. But if you use like a very nice pop of color, it just seems to balance itself out very, very well. Okay, so now what I want to do is that I can already see that the blush that I applied earlier, the liquid blush that's called Dolce Vita from Nars, is blended well into my skin. I'm just going to add a little bit more of the color on the cheeks. So I'm not adding any more product, but whatever is left on the brush, I'm just blending it out some more. And I'm just going to do that here. So at least, like, with the pinkiness of the lip and the pinkiness of the blush, it's just making your eye, like, when you look at me, you're going to look straight into my lips first, and then your eye is going to get tricked, and it's just going to start going up into my cheekbones, and now what you see is my eyes. So it's creating that very nice train of your eye into my eye, so that when you're having a conversation over a nice, like, lit dinner, this is all you see. All you see are my eyes. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to get my Nars Orgasm on the Beach palette. And of course, I'm going to pick up the Nars Orgasm color here because I love this color in this formula. And this is what I'm going to use, like a topper on top of this blush, just to add more warmth to the skin. Also add some peachiness. And this will just really help to set the Dolce Vita blush, and it will just add, like, very nice dimension of color on the skin. And it's going to add more radiance, but not too much, because after all, the foundation, as you guys can see, is actually very radiant, so we do not need excessive radiance at all. Oh, and I forgot, I said that I just want to add a little bit of warmth on my skin, because that's what happens when I have a tan. My golden tones do come out. So I'm gonna use this new brush. I haven't played around with this brush. So this is the Sakura brush that was released by Chikuhodo a few months back. And I'm gonna use that with my new Maybelline City Bronzer. So it's a very nice neutral tone to it. And this brush will just pick out the right amount of color. Just add a hint of warmth on my skin. Oh, this has a very nice citrusy scent to it, which is great. Then let me just add that here to my, hairline and my forehead, just so that I have a hint of warmth there. But not too much, because I don't want to look muddy. I just want everything to look just right. Alright, so this is the complete look. This is the makeup look that I created on Maricar for her 60th birthday. What do you guys think? Do you approve? Do you like it? Please let me know down in the comments box, okay? And for me, I am very happy that I was able to create this look because, like, it's very sexy, very sultry, but it's also very well balanced and not overly done, which I actually love. And I'm also happy to say that I used very minimal products to achieve this look. I only used two eyeshadow products. I used two cheek products, two lip products, and just one foundation, no highlighter, not so much. And I think it just comes to show that you can create a very nice, flawless kind of a look, but you only use very minimal products. Alright, so that's it for me today. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any more questions about all of the products that I use today, please leave them down in the comments box and let's have a conversation about it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope that you're having a good day wherever you are. Bye!